Hello, good morning. This past week I read the Fever series from Karen Marie Moning. I'm covering up this last book because I didn't read it. Um, it was it's a afterthought kind of story from what I understand. Maybe I'll read it. My friend's I think reading it right now. This series is fun. I did the review on the first book, but quick recap, we follow Michaela Lane, Ms. Lane, who is from Georgia. Her sister is brutally murdered in Dublin. Cops aren't doing enough about it, so she goes to investigate. She gets there, she meets a guy named Jericho Barons, who is the grumpiest of grumps and oh so lovable. And she discovers that she has this power where she can sense magical items. Jericho Barons and a few other key players are all looking for a magical old book called the Shisadu, and everyone wants her because she can sense where it is, whereas that's kind of a rare thing to be able to do. So she's got a lot of people almost trying to court her onto being on their side to find this book, and they all have various reasons for wanting to find it. I did the audiobooks. The first 4 books were read by women, or a woman. The last book, the Shadowfever, it was a man and a woman, and oh dear God, his voice, it is exactly how I pictured Jericho Barron sounding. It was so good. I'm also glad I did the audiobooks on these because there's a lot of Irish words, which if I was reading it, I would say it wrong in my head, and what's the big deal about that? Nothing really, but it was nice to be able to hear how things are supposed to be pronounced, because I don't know, it's just nice to be able to hear how it's supposed to be pronounced. These 5 books are one big story. You need to read these 5 books in order. From what I understand after that, it's kind of hit or miss, but it's all one big story. You got to think of the books as seasons. I swear to God, each book ended like a supernatural finale, season finale, because it just left you on a cliffhanger. Buy all 5 books before you even get started. It's an adult series, definitely not YA. There are some trigger warnings. It's pretty gory. We have rape. We have quite a bit more gore. It's not as descriptive as ACOTAR on sex scenes, but it does mention it. And, talks around it, just doesn't describe it as much as I would say ACOTAR does, or, some other. You get to watch Michaela grow up. She starts off very immature, and it's almost a little frustrating in book 1, but by the end, she's a full-grown adult. Great series. I recommend it. Here's my star rating.